Alright, so we'll have two categories. One would be the care packages, and the next category would be the food items. And so we'll set up a proportion. So on top, I'm going to put the number of care packages, and I'm going to relate that on the bottom in the denominators to the number of food items. So it told us that there were, if you had 8 care packages, you would need 240 food items. So we'll put the 8 on top with care packages and 240 food items in the denominator. And so how many care packages, so we don't know that part, so that's where our variable x will go, can you make with 500 food items? 500 food items. And there's your proportion, so you cross multiply. So we'll do x times 240 is 240x. 8 times 500. And if you multiply that out, you'll get 4,000. And I do want you all to show your work when you do these problems in the practice later. And we want those to be equal to each other. Divide both sides by 240. Cross out your 240s. If you want to, you can cross out these zeros by dividing by 10, and then out to the side you would divide 24 into 400. See what you get. Once you've divided that, then it looks like you'll get 16 and 2/3 if you do it as a mixed number, and that would be a number of care packages. Right, let's try a different type of problem. On page 289 at the bottom, you'll see number 3. So it talks about DVDs under the guided practice. Matthew paid $49.45 for 5 DVDs at a sale. And we're going to skip down to letter B. And this is actually practicing something that we've done in an earlier lesson, but I thought it would be good to practice again. Write an equation relating the cost, C, so that's your variable cost, to the number of DVDs, D. How much would it cost for 11 DVDs at the same rate? Now, it didn't tell you this in the directions, but you'll see some in other problems that you do where it asks you to write an equation relating the cost to the number of DVDs. So you remember that from earlier. So the first thing we need to do is actually, if you remember, find the unit rate, or in this case it's a unit price. So it told us that $49.45 is what he pays for 5 DVDs. So if you remember, we know how to find unit rate, or unit price in this case, the cost for 1 DVD. So we would divide 5 into 49.45. When you do that division, you'll get $9.89. So that's our unit price. So keeping in mind that C is equal to the cost, D is equal to the number of DVDs, let's write an equation to relate them. So we could say the cost is equal to, so you think about what you do there, you're going to multiply the cost of 1 DVD times the number of DVDs that you purchase. So there's your equation. Then let's take that equation and let's answer the question, how much would it cost for 11 DVDs at the same rate? So that's the number of DVDs is 11. So you'll plug that in. C equals $9.89 times 11. And then you do that multiplication and your cost is $108.79. So there's your answer. All right, I'd like you to practice the things that I went over in this lesson. I want you to do numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 in your notes. The first 2, practice using your cross products, cross multiply, and find out what value for x makes these proportions true. And then numbers 5 and 6 are in your book, and those are going to practice the 2 types of word problems that we went over. And then in our next class, we will check these answers, and I want to see your notes that you took and see where you've solved these 4 problems, and we'll go over them.